domestic violence defendants. Terrell was born in San Jose, and when he was very young, he moved to Tulare. He went on to graduate from Tulare Western High School, where he excelled in band and football. He eventually went on to receive a full athletic scholarship from the University at Buffalo, where he received a bachelor's degree in African American Studies. And he was a starting fullback for the UB Bulls. He also holds a degree of Juris Doctor from the University of Buffalo School of Law. He resides in Walnut Creek, California, with his beautiful wife, Brittany, and their 18-month-old child, Carter. Terrell spends whatever free time the new father has, I don't know how you have any free time, working with underprivileged foster youth in the Bay Area. He currently sits on the Opportunity Youth Leadership Council, an organization that works with at-risk youth in Santa Clara County between the ages of 16 and 24 who are disconnected from both school and work. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Tyrone Wilson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to be with you today. It's an honor to celebrate Black history. I'd also like to thank Southern California Edison for the opportunity to speak here today. We are here to celebrate the accomplishments of the African American community. We are here to be inspired, I believe, to inspire not only us, but future generations of young Black women and men to achieve greater heights, to reach success. Now, as I was getting ready to speak with you guys this morning, and it was around, I don't know, 2:30 in the morning, I was thinking to myself, who should I talk about? Should I talk about Frederick Douglass? Should I talk about Sojourner Truth? Should I talk about Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X? The list couldn't go on. So much accomplishment in these people. These trailblazers helped us learn what perseverance was, what strength was. They broke down barriers. They stood at the footsteps of injustice. They pulled a nation together during its darkest hour. However, we have a new generation of youth, and they're looking for new leaders. They're looking for new people to inspire them, people that they can relate to. I remember overhearing a group of young youth talk about, well, where are the Black leaders today? Where are the Martin Luther Kings of today, the Malcolm X's, the W. E. Du Bois? Where are they today? Who are going to speak on my behalf? Who's going to talk about the injustice that I see? Well, I want to share with you a story that's truly inspirational to me, hopefully to you too. I want to tell you a story of a young Black boy named Alonzo that benefited from a life where people gave to him. You see, Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we get. Amen. Alonzo entered the foster care system at age 6. Alonzo was born to a mother and father addicted to crack cocaine and alcohol. The fortunate thing I can say about this young man is that he didn't follow in the footsteps of his father that he never met. Alonzo was the third oldest, born to his mother. Fortunately or unfortunately, Alonzo and his siblings were ripped away from his mother and separated into various foster homes. Some of these siblings were born with drugs in their system, some not. Now, let me quantify the difficulty that Alonzo was facing at this point in his life. Less than 50% of foster youth get a diploma. Of that percentage, less than 10% go to college. And then of that percentage, less than 3% actually graduate. Another startling fact I found out about foster youth is that over 70% of state inmates in California have stated that they had one time been involved in the foster youth system. It was a luck of draw for Alonzo and these kids. This young man had 6 brothers. 4 would eventually go on to become felons. Out of 3 sisters, 2 would eventually have battles with substance abuse in the criminal justice system. But this shouldn't surprise any of you guys. Not when African Americans make up 6% of this state of California, but we're more than 1/3 of the population of incarcerated. This young man's pathway from a fatherless son to a small town crack addict to an emancipated 17-year-old traveled through 20 different foster homes. 20 different sets of rules, sets of parents, new dynamics, guardians, but no stability and no family. Through these 20 foster homes, Alonzo faced challenges common to most foster youth. He became a victim of the system. Abused, molested, neglected, shamed. Alonzo had whatever love and hope or died of him by the age of 9. At that age, Alonzo even thought to himself, "We'd be better off that I am dead than living." Alonzo did what we frequently see of foster youth, and specifically in my job I see quite often. They went from being a dependent to a delinquent, from a prospect to a suspect. He stole, he committed acts of violence. Alonzo learned to survive by any means necessary. He broke into homes, he attempted to sell drugs. He begged for money on the streets. He did whatever he would need to survive for himself. Alonzo was filled with anger and hopelessness. Alonzo was written off more times than a bad check. He was often told by teachers and guardians, people entrusted, to inspire him that he would be dead or in prison by the age of 18. But listen, when I think of Alonzo's story, I wonder, were they wrong? You know, his trajectory, where he was going, I mean, wasn't that where he was supposed to end? In 2013, the Huffington Post wrote an article, and I'm sure some of you are aware of this. 1 in 3 black men will be incarcerated in some time in their lifetime. 1 in 3. There's more than 3 in this room. The day Alonzo was born, society wanted to write him off. They wanted to start his book and finish the chapter with incarcerated or dead. Close it up and put it on the shelf. A good friend of mine said, the power to define is the power to control. You see, society already had the definition of what a criminal would be. Black, young, fatherless, motherless, fear, unloved, hopelessness, incompetent, prison, or death. That was the definition. See, society already had its bias, and all it was waiting for is its confirmation. Alonzo would say that what little opportunity he had was possibly in sports. But as Alonzo said, I felt like a stock owned by the whole block that we all loved and cared because we all owned a share. Alonzo felt like a commodity. He understood I could only bring to you what would make you wealthy, what would make you beneficial. In 8th grade, Alonzo was unloaded into the commodities market again. He got in trouble in school. He robbed a young lady. He was immediately expelled. And instead of being supported by his foster family, they called a CPS social worker. They packed his bags before he got home, and he was out of it. The system was ready to give up on this kid. And I'm sure some of us would think, well, he's a criminal. What are we going to do? The social worker was left with little or no options. She was either going to place him in a group home or in a detention center for at-risk youth. So that's almost like a preemie prison. Some of you out there are wondering, why couldn't Alonzo just move in with the family, uncles, aunts? Well, let me tell you about the foster care system. The family members that want him couldn't pass a background check. And the family members that did want him and could, or the family members that could pass a background check, didn't want him in their home. At this point in Alonzo's life, he was following the script that had already been written before he was born. Dead or in prison by the age of 18. But an exceptional thing happened. A family heard of Alonzo's situation and decided to give him the love he deserved. What's interesting about this family is that the mother of this family had known Alonzo since he was 7 years old. Matter of fact, she had confronted Alonzo when he was 7 years old. He had chased her daughter home and threw rocks at her. Yeah, Alonzo was a hellraiser. Stay with me. But from this day forward, this mother and this family that confronted Alonzo would have their eye on him. And now years later, after Alonzo had chased their daughter home, this family was chasing Alonzo to give him a home. Yeah, that's slip. Freudian slip. 6 years after Alonzo was calling this place a home, this mother and family was able to break down barriers by asking him a simple yet powerful question. And she asked this: would you like to be a part of our family? Now, to that point, Alonzo had only been asked, do you want to be moved to a family? But to become a part of the family? When society saw a delinquent child not capable of success, this mother only saw her son. Over time, this family gained his trust, his affection. Alonzo excelled with his new family, but it was not without setbacks and failures. What Alonzo learned at this point was very pivotal. Just because I failed does not make me a failure. If I fall down, let me land on my back so I can see my way to get up. Alonzo began to flourish in his high school as a senior. Alonzo began to flourish in his family's home. He went from a 2.0 GPA to a 3.5 in a matter of a year. Alonzo went on to high school. He did well in high school. He went on to graduate, go to college. He went on eventually to go and get a terminal degree. He eventually went on to work for one of the most prestigious institutions in the state of California and become a licensed professional. Now, I know hearing an exceptional story like this of a young foster youth, black kid overcoming insurmountable odds sounds a little daunting. It sounds like, how can you affect this much change in someone's life? Is it possible? I'm sure some of you even think to yourself, some of this is far-fetched, maybe fiction. But I'm sure it's true, because it is my story. I am Tyron Alonzo. It is only because of exceptional giving I'm here for you today and not dead in prison. I believe that sharing my story to this audience was not in vain. The Bible talks about do not cast your pearls upon swine. Amen. But I believe this audience is ready to receive what I'm saying. Receive what I'm saying and step up the challenge before you. The Bible talks about faith without works is what? We can have faith that our black youth are going to accomplish. We can have faith that they're going to do better. But until we all put in works, until we all reach back and grab them and pull them forward, it's just going to be faith. It's just going to be prayers. I'm going to leave you with two quotes that are very inspiring to me by Maya Angelou. Children's talent to endure stems from their ignorance of the alternative. Amen. I'm telling you, kids, my little 18-month-old son, Carter, he jumps off the couch. He runs into walls. He thinks he can do anything. He thinks he can fly. Kids are born. They're born believing they can do anything. It is not until they get into life that it's sucked from them. It's up to us to inspire them, to reinvigorate them. Lastly, Maya Angelou said that I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I can tell you that Kathy Frisquillo, who was my foster mom, who had passed away actually a year and a half after me living with her, the cancer, she asked me, and I remember as clear as day when I was at Mulcahy Middle School. I walked into the school, the principal saw me, said, "Hey, we expelled you last year, what are you doing here?" She went in his office, she yelled at him. He came back out, apologized, said, I'll see you tomorrow. But she said to me, she said, Tom, do you want to be a part of our family? And what I can tell you is that it did take a lot. It took a year and a half for her to turn me around. Now, I'm not to say that alone helped me. I had the assistance of plenty of people in this room, and I'm sure you already know your names. But it only takes a little bit. Your exceptional giving will empower these foster youth and Black children, our seeds, to achieve exceptional things. Thank you.